Nice spiky hair. Alright, what is up everyone? DSP here, and welcome to the weekend preview. Today is Sunday, March 22nd, 2015, and I have a ton to talk about. In fact, this week in particular is, for me, okay, the first week of the year that I've been highly anticipating because there is a game, a huge game, everyone's talking about it, it's coming out this week, that everyone wants to play, everyone wants to see. For me, it's probably one of the most highly anticipated games of the year, and it comes out this week, okay? And for me, it's almost like I feel like this maybe will be the start of good games in 2015, and you know, I hate to say that. There have been a few decent games here or there, but there hasn't been anything that's been like, wow, this is Game of the Year material, and I'm like blown away. Nothing yet, and we're all the way through March. This is like the complete polar opposite of last year. When you remember, by this time last year, we had at least 2 games in the running for Game of the Year, if not more. So, we're going to get to that. We're going to explain this week, and I'm going to tell you, this week is absolutely crazy, because not only is this game releasing, Bloodborne, of course, but there's other things going on that I'm going to have to juggle in with playing Bloodborne. So I want you guys to understand this week, I'm going to do my best to satisfy everyone. For those that want Bloodborne, you're going to get it often. For those that want other stuff, you're going to probably get that too. There's going to be a special event, and we're going to talk all about that in this week in preview, all right? But before we do, I do have to talk about Patreon. And the reason I have to is because at this point, we've got about 9 days left until the end of the month. And as of this past Thursday, I finally solidified... Oh, my hair is puffy today. I solidified my Patreon goals for the month of March. Now, what that means is that anyone who pledges to my Patreon account right now, which is patreon.com/DarksidePhil, will not only qualify for perks based off of the level that you donate, but also will contribute to this big collective pot of funding for the month of March. As we hit certain levels of funding, I'm going to be doing special events. Now, last month, it was the Patreons Choose It playthrough. It was Minecraft, which we've been doing 3 weeks of already, and people seem to love it. And it was a marathon of indie games, which is coming, and we're going to talk about that in this weekend preview as well, okay? All those were hit, and all those are going to be delivered on this month, except for the Patreon playthrough, because it literally took over 2 weeks to get everyone signed up on the forums. The patrons are now voting and nominating games for that playthrough. As of tomorrow, I'm going to look through that nominations thread, and we're going to narrow it down to, say, maybe 10, which they're then going to vote on for a week. And by the end of this month, we're going to know what game it is that I'm going to be playing based off the Patreon donations in February. And that game will be played in the month of April. Okay? That's how it's going to happen with that one. And that particular goal level, I'm thinking I'm going to bring it back every other month because it takes so long to get everyone to nominate and then vote and get it all set up that unfortunately it's not something that could be done like that on a monthly basis. So I'm going to do that one every other month. Okay? So what are the Patreon goals for March? Because I thought really long and hard about this, and I said, what are some cool things that I could motivate people to, number one, want to contribute, and number two, things that they would want to see. Okay? And it's a little different this month because I realized that having the leftover Patreon playthrough from February that I needed to do in April was going to take up some time. So, number one, that's going to happen no matter what. I don't even care if I get no funding in the month of March. I'm going to be doing that playthrough no matter what because the patrons deserve it. Number two, Minecraft, the ongoing series, is going to continue in April if people fund it with a $500 goal level for March. And I think we're going to get that from what I've seen from the amount of people who are donating. I think there's no problem that we're going to get that goal. People have loved this first month that I've played Minecraft. I've been playing vanilla Minecraft the whole time, and this next session will also be vanilla Minecraft, which we're going to talk about. But I want to continue because now after a month of basically getting my teeth, what do they call it? Teeth wet? No, I forget what it is. Getting my teeth sharpened, your mouth, your tongue, I don't forget the sayings. I liked playing it for a month, playing the normal Minecraft, and this next session I'm going to do is going to be fun, I think, as the final session of just vanilla, and then we're going to explore other things, modifying the game to make it perform better, trying different versions of the game, online co-op, and that could all take place in the month of April, okay? So that's going to be the lowest goal level, and I'm pretty sure we're going to hit that. Number two, the second goal level, is $850 of funding, and what that's going to be is the DSP Classics Best of Series. What I'm going to do is go back into my annals of thousands and thousands of videos, right? I've been doing this for 6 years, and some of my biggest and most popular playthroughs, of course, happened at the very beginning when, you know, these game playthroughs on YouTube were kind of a new thing, and I was one of the kind of hip new guys doing it, and people really loved some of my original playthroughs. Of course, the one that comes to mind immediately is Heavy Rain. And what I would like to do is go back and, in an episodic format, it wouldn't just be one video, take highlights from different series of games that I've played and make, best moments, worst moments, funniest moment kind of a montage out of those, okay? I think that people would absolutely love that. People have told me on the forums, they actually came up with the idea and said, you know, there's tons of people who have started watching Phil's content over the past 6 years, but they weren't there in 2009 and 2010 when he started, and maybe they never saw those, or if they did, they just don't want to watch a giant playthrough of an old game. If he did like a modified, more abridged version, that would be awesome, and maybe even open up his content to a wider audience. But the thing is, to do that, I would love to do it, I need time to do it, which means I need to take time away from streaming gameplay. So, with this level of funding, if I hit $850 of funding in March, that means I'll have enough, and I'll be able to do that because I could forego maybe 2-3 streams to take that time to do it, and I don't have to worry about making money on those streams, right? Because I've already got it funded. And then the highest level this month, this was based off of, number one, again, feedback from viewers and fans on my forums of what they want, and number two, based off of the amount of funding that I actually received in February, because now I kind of have a baseline to go for. This is kind of the stretch goal that I really hope we can hit. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a realist, and I don't know if we're going to hit it, okay? For $1,250, which is actually less than what we got last month, but keep in mind, that month of February was the first month, and tons of people jumped out and said, I want to support Phil, and did the big perk levels, and now they're going to reduce their pledges this month. Is me improving my sound setup. And what I mean by that is I use this little microphone right here, this Samsung Meteor mic. As you can see, all it has is a little piece of foam on it to stop, you know, ambient sound. Right now, you could probably hear sound from my PC. You could probably hear sound from outside. You could hear popping in my voice. You hear echoing of my office, right? You hear all of this. And a lot of people say, well, Phil, people who do this full-time, who aren't you, have this super professional setup in their rooms where they have all this shit set up and you don't sound as good as them. Like, because I'm one person, because I never made it super big like they probably did, because I don't have a ton of money to sink into resources like that, you know what I mean? I've never been professional. I used to do this out of my living room with a camera, right? So I was never like that. But people are saying this is what they want, and if that's the route you want me to go and be more professional, I'd be willing to do it. The first thing I would do is buy some soundproofing foam, which people have already showed me on Amazon exists, and I'd hang it behind myself here on my wall, over here, and over here. There's 3 separate areas where I think soundproofing foam would definitely dampen the amount of echoing and noise that you hear in this room. Number 2, I would buy a new mic, because this is a good one, but it's not amazing. It's not a studio quality mic. It's not a professional level mic. I would buy a professional level microphone and a mixer. Now, mixers are expensive, and I would hook all this stuff together. I would work out the bugs, and hopefully, you know, by the end of April, we would have this really amazing, robust sound setup that sounds tons better than what we've got right now, okay? But it costs money, and this is kind of what I need to explain about this perks. A lot of people are saying, oh, $1,250 for him to buy a microphone and some soundproofing. That doesn't cost that much. Of course it doesn't. But the point of Patreon was to support me so I could keep doing this in the long term. If I'm spending all the money that I raised on Patreon, then it didn't do that. It just got me money to spend. You know what I mean? But I need the money to live. So I can't just blow it all. So if you do a $1,250 goal level, if we reach that this month, I could take, say, maybe $500 out of that and sink it into the foam and the microphone and the mixer, and I could take the time, maybe a stream instead of streaming, to set it all up and really tweak it with people on a stream and try to get it to work, okay? So that's the highest level. I would absolutely love for that. I really would. I don't know realistically if it's going to happen because, as I just said, I think what happened was in the month of February, it was the very first time that I had ever accepted donations, right? Since 2010, it was the first time I had accepted donations. I think a lot of people got excited. They said, now's our chance. We could get some cool, a t-shirt signed by Phil. We could get a private video from Phil, and they went for the higher goal, the higher perk levels, excuse me. And now this month, everyone's reducing their pledge. And a lot of people have been saying to me when I created these goals, but Phil, according to Patreon, you already hit all the goals. It's not true. If you actually look now, the amount is lowering and lowering and lowering. Because what's happening is people who pledged last month are realizing, oh, I'm not going to spend $30 again. I already got my Project 7 t-shirt. And they're reducing that down to $5 or $1, which is ultimately what I expect. When I started this whole Patreon thing last month, what I said was this. I expect, hopefully in the long run, once we get this really established after several months, to get a bunch of people, a lot of people who are doing $1 a month or $5 a month pledges, right? And then that would be enough to reach the goals, and we could do all these cool improvements versus, oh, a very small number, 10 or 20 people who are doing giant pledges. Because that's cool, and it's cool to have that little one-time enticement to do the higher level perks, but it's not going to be recurring. Those people aren't going to spend that much, and I wouldn't want people to spend that much on a regular basis. I'd rather have a lot of people on the lower levels, okay? And, you know, it is what it is. The perks that I've set up, 99% of them, when you look at them, except for the lower levels, the higher level ones are one-time only. I don't have anything I can do on a recurring basis that's a giant perk level. I'm not like these other YouTubers who, oh, well, I'll finally ask your question on Ask the King. It's like, but I've been doing that the whole time. You know, the other YouTubers, oh, we're setting up Patreon and we're doing all these things that Phil's been doing for years, but we're going to make you pay for it. That's kind of not how I did this because I've been giving you so much for so long, I can't set up my Patreon like that, okay? So it's dependent on a large number of people giving a little. And I really hope that now that you guys know what the goals are for this month, know that that's how it works, that we'll get a bunch of people jumping on, giving a couple bucks each. That's how this is going to happen, and that's how this is really going to be successful in the long run, all right? Thank you so much for a successful Patreon in February. I would love to have a super successful Patreon in March. I'm skeptical that we're going to reach that $1,250 goal level, though. And the thing is, I've got all these future plans. People are saying, oh, well, how are you going to make this work long term? And I'm like, there's so many things. Are you kidding me? There's so many things I can improve. I would love to get a better camera so that this summer, when I finally have time to film Project 7, I can have this amazing professional level camera that looks great, 1080p. My camera I'm filming right now is a shitty webcam that's not very good. And the camera that I use for like vlogs and stuff outside of the weekend preview only does 1080i and it doesn't look so good. I would love to get a great camera and all new equipment for this stuff, but I have to fund it. Okay? So that's the deal with Patreon. Sorry I took so long at the beginning of the video to talk about it, but I didn't make an official video for it. I hope that you guys will spread the word about it, and that people will definitely contribute for the month of March. Let's see how it goes. Please, I hope it goes well, but I'm grateful for whatever I get regardless, all right? All right, so now let's talk about this week and what you can expect. A lot of it is actually influenced by the Patreon, all right? Unlike what it used to be. What it used to be is I played whatever I wanted, right? Usually it was every single new release, and I would try to play them upon launch and cram them in. And now things are a little different because now I've got these ongoing projects due to Patreon that are going to take up time, and so I'm going to have to balance the new releases with this. And of course, there's other personal stuff going on that I enjoy doing as well that also is going to factor in. And that's really what this week is. It's a mix of new releases, Patreon promises, and fun stuff. Okay? So let's recap, all right? Today, I played Silent Hill 4 for the first time in a week, and tomorrow I'm going to do a marathon of it, hopefully beat it, alright? Lots of people who've watched it are absolutely loving the playthrough. Unfortunately, it's not a new game, and this happens every time now that I play an older game. It just doesn't really get a super large audience that's, like, riveted. You know what I mean? Unless it's a brand new game. Oh, Phil's playing Dragon Ball Xenoverse. Phil's playing the new hotness. If I'm not doing that, it finds a smaller audience. But it's an audience that luckily sticks around and watches the whole playthrough, and people are really enjoying it. I love Silent Hill 4. I think it's actually a breath of fresh air from what the other Silent Hill games were, even though those were good. This is such a different format that I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hoping to complete it tomorrow so that it doesn't get the ending delayed for a month or two, or not a month or two, excuse me, a week or two is what I meant to say. Well, I'm busy with other stuff, alright? So that's Monday, okay? Tonight, which I forgot to mention, I'm going to be reviewing Resident Evil Revelations 2, and that review hopefully will go live tonight. We have to see how long it takes me to film it, to edit it, yada, yada, yada. As you know now, I don't just film it and release it. Now I put all this editing and effort into it to make it look a lot better and more professional. And you guys have been watching those reviews a lot more. Don't think I didn't notice. Those reviews are getting much better views than they used to, and I like that, and I'm very thankful for that. So hopefully, the more work I put into it, the better, you know, performance they do. Hopefully. We'll see. Tuesday. So here's the big one, right? The big release day. There's 2 new releases this week. Bloodborne is the one everyone wants to see. And then also Life is Strange Episode 2, which I loved Episode 1, which came out at the end of January. Actually, I think I played it the first day of February, which was a Saturday. No, I played it the last day of January, which actually was a Saturday. And I loved it. We've been waiting now 2 months later. It's finally coming out. And so I definitely want to play it. Now, there's no info on how long it is yet. So the attitude I'm taking is this. We know that I'm going to have Bloodborne on Tuesday because I can get it physically at the store. So I'm going to try to start my stream a little bit earlier than usual. It's going to depend on how fast can I get to the store, pick up the game, get back here, set up the stream, right? and get it going. And I would like to say this, please, please, please submit your fan art for Bloodborne and Life is Strange Episode 2 on the kingofhate.com forums. There is the fan art section right there in the forums, because it would be awesome to have cool montages. I haven't been mentioning fan art a lot, and I've noticed the last few games that I played, I really didn't get that much. So the more you submit, the cooler and better the breaks and the intros are, and I definitely appreciate that. I would love it if you guys could take a stab at Bloodborne and Life is Strange Episode 2, okay? So that being said, first stream on Tuesday will be Bloodborne. It may be a longer stream starting earlier than usual because I want to play as much as I can on that day. Now, I also definitely want to play Life is Strange Episode 2, but if you guys have been following along, you'll know that this past month I had some problems with the timing of PSN releases, and what I mean by that is PSN seems to just take its sweet time and release games whenever it wants. If you buy an episodic season of a game, one week they'll release it at midnight, the next week they'll release it at 5 p.m. the next day, and you have no consistency of when this is coming out. So I can't promise you guys if or when Life is Strange Episode 2 will actually come out on PSN, because I am playing it on PS4, and I can't promise you I'm playing it on Tuesday. I would love to say yes, 100% I am, but right now that's the situation. I can't promise it because I don't know when the hell it's actually going to be released, alright? So that being said, if it's released on Tuesday, I am going to be playing it second stream. I don't know how long it is. If it's, say, 2 hours, I'll beat it on second stream. If it's 3+ hours like the first episode is, then we'll split it, and I'll probably do the first half on Tuesday night and the second half on Wednesday night, which would then make the schedule Bloodborne, Life is Strange on Tuesday, Bloodborne, Life is Strange on Wednesday, okay? Now, if none of that works out, and, you know, for whatever reason Life is Strange isn't out at all, we'll just do crazy amounts of Bloodborne, okay? If Life is Strange is not released at all on Tuesday, alright, but it does come out on Wednesday, then what I might do is we might just do the first stream on Wednesday will be Life is Strange to just finish the whole thing and then Bloodborne at night. So unfortunately, another freaking week where I can't promise you guys timing, and it's not my fault, I would love to, because the releases now are all digital releases, and the digital releases aren't consistent. And it frustrates me. I ranted about this 2 weeks ago, so I don't have to go into detail about it again. It frustrates me that I can't promise you stuff because I'm reliant on these jokers to release the content, and they don't promise us anything because we're the consumer and we already gave them their money, so they'll just release it whenever they feel like it rather than having a consistent release, which is what a business, a honorable business, should do. So that's how it's going to happen. You will see Bloodborne, you will see Life is Strange, you'll see them both on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday of this week is the return of Ask the King. Outside of this, outside of the weekend preview, it's the only real vlog-style show I'm doing, because I didn't have time to do Hate Live at all in the month of March because I was so busy doing Patreon-related stuff, getting my taxes done, all this stuff that needed to be done behind the scenes. I had to take time off a few times from streaming, and I wasn't able to do a Hate Live. So this Ask the King is going to be big for multiple reasons. Number one, because it's the first one in a month, and I'm sure people have tons of questions to ask now that all these changes and things have gone into effect this past month. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's the first month where patrons who donated $20 or more are going to get their questions answered, and there's 4 particular patrons who already posted up their questions. I'm going to say this to you guys if you're watching. If you're a patron who donated $20 or more in the month of February, and you have not posted up your questions yet on the forums, you absolutely must do it in the special patron section for you, because right now only 4 people did. A lot of people said they're just going to forego it because some people got private videos and stuff for donating higher amounts. That's cool, but I don't want someone to then be upset, oh, I didn't get my question answered because you didn't ask it. All right, so please post that up ASAP, okay? So, two big things. It's the first Ask the King in a month. I haven't done any real vlog-style videos like this in a month, and also the patrons are finally going to get their questions answered, all right? So that's coming this Thursday. That's first stream this Thursday, and that's going to be as soon as I finish, reviewing questions or whatever. Please post up your questions right now on the kingofhate.com forums, and also I will be taking Twitter and Facebook questions, but keep in mind I have a heavier emphasis on the questions from the forums because the questions from the forums are easy to read, easy to tag, easy to, copy and paste, and they're not, me spur of the moment trying to figure out good answers for them. Please post up immediately for that coming this Thursday, okay? This Friday normally would have been the day of the week that I play Minecraft, but not so this week. This week I am attending Emerald City Comic Con, which is a comic book, pop culture, movies, TV, gaming, everything convention being held in downtown Seattle, which is, so close to me. It's so awesome now. I live so close to a major city. I can drive there in less than an hour. I'll be there all day, you know, vlogging and taking pictures. I'll probably be posting up on my Twitter and Instagram from cool stuff that I see there while I vlog it. And when I get home that night, I'm going to post up all those vlogs on the King of Hate vlog. So no streaming gameplay on Friday, but you'll see a day of cool vlogs from Emerald City Comic Con going live that night on the King of Hate vlogs. All right. Now, for those of you who are going to Emerald City Comic Con, good news and bad news. The good news is I'll be there for most of the day. We're probably going to leave a little bit earlier in the morning, try to go grab a bite to eat before we head out there. Once we get there, we'll be there for probably 5-ish hours or longer. And then it closes at 7 p.m., but we're probably going to leave a little earlier than that to try to beat the traffic. We'll see. But we're going to be there the majority of Friday. So if you're there, there's a strong chance if you're a fan of mine and you want to, wow, I want to meet Phil and I want to say hi, maybe get something autographed. Awesome. I've never been against shaking someone's hand, saying hello, having a little conversation, or taking pictures, signing. I love that because that's how I give back. If I meet someone in person and they want that, I don't mind. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be one of these pompous dicks or, oh, the paparazzi. No, you know, I'm cool with that. And incidentally, this is the first event of this magnitude that I've attended since 2013 when I went to Screw Attack Gaming Convention, right? Now, keep in mind, I'm an attendee. This is a huge thing. I'm not a panelist. I don't have any, a table. I'm just going to be walking around. So this is kind of the bad news half. I don't know anything about this convention. I've never attended it. I've never been to this Seattle Convention Center it's being held in. So I know next to nothing about it. Can't even tell you, oh, well, at this time I'll meet people at this area. I don't know any of the areas. I know nothing about it. This is because I just moved here. This is the first time I'm ever attending. And therefore, I can't make you any promises. What I can tell you is I will be there, and if you happen to catch me or see me, and you want to grab me and say hi or whatever, that's cool. But I can't tell you specifically we'll have a meetup at this time because I've never been there before. Now, maybe this year we will. We'll go there. We'll get the lay of the land. We'll see what the convention center's like. And then if we attend it in future years, I can say, okay, on this day I'll be here at this time if anyone wants to meet up, etc., etc. Okay? But for now, that's how it's being handled. A lot of you have already contacted me and said you're going to be attending, so I hope to meet you guys there if you are going to be attending this Friday. All right? Saturday. Here's the thing. I know exactly what's going to... Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, Thursday night I will be playing more Bloodborne, all right? Tuesday, Wednesday are going to be Bloodborne and Life is Strange Episode 2. Thursday is Ask the King, and then more Bloodborne after Ask the King for my second stream. Friday, Emerald City Comic Con. Saturday, more Bloodborne. Because I know people are going to be craving Bloodborne, all right? Because they're going to say, oh, I didn't get it all day Friday. Phil didn't play it. I'll be back on Saturday to play it, all right? Sunday, and this is kind of another unfortunate one. This is what I'm finding now, is now that I'm getting involved in all these Patreon and all these special events, some things are going to go by the wayside, guys. All right? And one of the things, unfortunately, that I think at this point is probably going to be retired, at least for the short term, are WWE simulations. I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, are you serious? You know, you only did one since you moved back in January, and it was really good that you did the Royal Rumble sims. We really enjoyed them. And, you know, what's going on? Why are you not doing them? It's this simple, guys. The bottom line is that, number one, there's not a lot going on with wrestling right now. I am very disappointed in pro wrestling right now. In fact, you guys have known I've been sporadically watching wrestling since I moved, and I started trying to watch it consistently again, and a couple weeks ago I couldn't anymore. Like, this is terrible. Like, this is probably the worst lead up to a WrestleMania I've seen. And I mean that, like, the worst I've ever seen. It's that bad. It's terrible, and the matches are horrible, and the plot lines are horrible, and it's fucking trash. I don't know what Vince and Triple H and Stephanie think they're doing with their company, but they're ruining it, and I'm just so turned off. Like, I know that WrestleMania is this Sunday. I have no desire to watch Raw or SmackDown this week, and I might not even watch WrestleMania. And I have WWE Network, and I may not watch WrestleMania because I'm so just fucking pissed off at how bad it is right now, right? It's terrible. And I have no interest in it. And let's face it, WWE 2K15 did a lot of things right, but one of the things it did terribly was the created wrestlers where you could only have like 20 of them. And because of that, now I'm limited to how many characters I can use when I'm trying to do fantasy matches. I can't even do a fantasy Royal Rumble and fill the Rumble because I have to have real wrestlers in there because there's not enough wrestlers to fill a fantasy Rumble because of the stupidity of the game developers. So I'm just really frustrated at it. And let's be honest, back in January, I did the Royal Rumble Sims. They didn't do very well. Most people didn't care. And I was like, you know, I'll try to do a simulation of every major pay-per-view from now on if people want it. And quite honestly, I've literally heard nothing. Like, no one's really even said, Phil, you're doing WrestleMania or nothing. And what the bottom line is, with Bloodborne, everyone's going to want to see it. Minecraft, has to continue. It's a Patreon playthrough that I've pledged I would do because we reach a certain funding level, and that seems to have gotten a decent following of people who are checking it out every week. So that's what we're going to go with. Minecraft will not be this coming Friday. It's going to be this Sunday. That's going to be my one gameplay stream for Sunday, the final stream of vanilla Minecraft. And what I mean by that is it's going to be the final stream where I'm just sitting there and playing vanilla, no mods, nothing, you know, different. It's going to be vanilla Minecraft, and I'm going to be exploring. What I mean by that is finally at the end of the last session, if you didn't see it, I got a big map. I took my map and I kept adding to it. Now my map is huge and needs to be populated. So next stream is going to be primarily me grabbing resources to go out and gallivanting on the overworld of the world in Minecraft and seeing what I can find and just basically adventuring like that, okay? So that's going to be Sunday. The next following day, all right, we're going to do Bloodborne. Now you're saying, why is Phil going into Monday? Because I want to let you know for the end of the year here, or the end of the year, the end of the month, what's coming up. That Monday is going to be a special event where, yes, the first stream will be Bloodborne again, because I want to make sure every other day at least I'm playing Bloodborne. Second stream on Monday, March 30th, will be the end of PlayStation Home. Ladies and gentlemen, PlayStation Home has been in beta permanently. It never really went fully live. And it was a hilarious experiment for many on the PlayStation 3. I never took it seriously. Once a year, I would usually visit this thing and have a laugh at how silly and stupid it was. It's finally shutting down. As of the end of this month, it's gone. And people have really expressed a strong feeling that saying, Phil, you've checked it annually every single year. Will you do it before it shuts down? I said, yes, we will this coming Monday. So not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow on my second stream for 2 hours or so. We'll jump in there and we'll do PS Home for the final time. Okay? And then that Tuesday, the final day of March, March 31st, is going to be my Marathon Indie Games. All right? This is the biggest level perk that we got for funding for Patreon in the month of February. Roughly 8 hours, where for limited breaks, I'm only going to take very short breaks to piss and maybe get a new drink or something and keep going. I'm going to be playing indie game after indie game after indie game based off of your suggestions on the forums. There's people who are suggesting in the, you know, the regular forums, and then there are also the patrons have also been doing their suggestions, and I'm going to try to take a mix of both. And that day is going to be, I'm hoping that day I can play at least 5 games, if not more, from all the suggestions that people have been giving. And I'm going to be playing them, you know, half hour to an hour each. Like I said, if it's a roughly 8-hour stream, you could probably fit in maybe 5, 6, even maybe 7 games, depending on how much I get into them and if I like them or not, etc., etc. So that's coming on the 31st. And then we'll talk about April and what's coming up in early April next week once we get to it and we see how far I've gotten in Bloodborne. Undoubtedly, it's going to be more Bloodborne. You know what I mean? Like, I want to keep playing it. This game, everyone's saying Bloodborne's going to be like 40 hours of gameplay minimum. And yes, there will be face cam. A lot of people have been saying, will there be death counter and face cam like there was in Dark Souls 2? Yes, there will be. I will be implementing that during my Bloodborne playthrough, so you'll see that. It's going to be the highest quality. If the game runs at 60 frames, my setup will be in 60 frames per second. You know, it's going to be great. I really feel it's going to be an awesome playthrough because I love Dark Souls 2 so much. I really think this is going to be an awesome one too. Getting a great vibe off of it. I hope you guys are ready because I'm ready too. And I hope you understand, if I could play Bloodborne every day for 12 hours, I would, but that's not reality. There's all these things going on with other games, Ask the King, Minecraft that has to happen, that we have to divvy up that time. The good news is early April, there's almost nothing going on. So come early April, we'll be fine. In early April, I'll be able to do Bloodborne continuing until I finally finish it. And I hope that you guys will stay the course, and I mean that because this is unfortunately what happens with these games. Oh, it's a 40-hour game. We'll watch Phil play for 5 hours, and then no one ever comes back, and the viewers, boo! And then everyone's like, well, play something else. I'm like, you asked me to play a 40-hour game that I'm really looking forward to. I start it, and then everyone leaves. You know what I mean? Like, I hope that we can finally get a game after months of that happening where people will consistently turn out and keep checking out the content. I tried to do it as well as I could with Dark Souls 2. I hope you'll come back for Bloodborne and check it out, okay? So that is pretty much it, everyone, for the weekend preview. An incredibly long one. I hope that people, number one, will consider pledging for the month of March for Patreon. I would love to improve my audio quality. I would love to do that classic series, but I need your support to do it. Number two, I hope you guys will turn out for all the content this week, in particular Bloodborne, but also Life is Strange Episode 2. I hope you'll submit fan art for those games. Number three, I hope you'll submit your questions for Ask the King this Thursday. I hope you're looking forward to my coverage of Emerald City Comic Con come this Friday. I hope you're excited for the final vanilla Minecraft stream. Like, there's so much going on this freaking week. It's nuts. It's wild. And I'm ready for it. I'm attacking it head on. And I hope that you're ready for it too. And I hope to see you on the stream. I hope to see you on YouTube, wherever it is that you can check out the content. I'm very appreciative. All right? That's how we're going to keep moving forward positively, right? All right, everyone. A great week coming. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you are too. I'm Darkside Phil. Peace out. I'll see you for the new gameplay this week. Have a good night, and I'll see you soon. I don't know what that was. Alrighty then.